Catherine Delahunty.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. He mihi nui ki te whare. Mr Speaker, right now our community is struggling with a very unpleasant water contamination issue that's affecting their health. It's not the only time this has happened across this country, but it's probably the largest in our memory and the most serious. And if, Mr Speaker, we can't sort out drinking water, how on earth are we going to get to swimmable rivers again? Remember that swimmable is the goal, not wadeable, despite the weakness of the government's national policy statement on fresh water. Wadeable, Mr Speaker, is not an Olympic sport. Swimming and diving are Olympic sports, but wadeable is how you cross a river. Or wadeable is when people wear those like rubber clothes and go fishing, a very legitimate activity. Great, except if the river's contaminated, there will not be any fish for them to catch in their waders. So we need to change the goal for water and make it swimmable, not wadeable. That would be a gold medal if we could return to that, and that's going to take some leadership that is absent at the moment. Swimmable is not about the Ministry of Health standard. It's about a whole lot more. It means safe for kids, for native fish, for insects, for all life forms. It should be swimmable. Swimmable is not about subsidising big irrigation to suck up water to the point at which rivers are beyond their life-supporting capacity. It is not about sewage overflows which contain a range of E. coli ending up in our waterways. We've got a lot of work to do, which can be done with political will. Swimmable means kids bombing off the bank into a clean pool of beautiful fresh water. It means tangata whenua getting up and doing their pepeha with pride because their river, their awa, is not contaminated. Swimmable means a river where people can be without having to check the Lawa website to see if it's been contaminated this week, or without having to read the sign that says toxic algae beware, or whether they have to wonder that this piece of paper nailed to this poster by the river that says it's a health risk, whether that's true or not, and whether they risk putting their head under the water when they've come to the river for an experience to renew their heart, because we love our rivers and we want to be safe in our rivers. It is worth noting some of the issues around this challenge. One is, according to Statistics New Zealand, that we now have 10 million cattle across the country. 6.4 million dairy cows and 3.6 million beef cattle. That's quite a lot of large animals, considering that each one of them produces 15 times the effluent of a single human being, and that effluent is not treated. That's quite a lot of waste per animal. And with the best will in the world, and we've got farmers doing this, planting and protecting waterways, dealing with phosphorus and other issues, nitrates are a massive issue in terms of the swimmability and the health of our rivers, because they lead us towards contamination of all of the elements of that water column, including algae, the risk of toxic algae. And as climate kicks in, we're going to get warmer water, more algae, mix that with nutrients, and we have a problem, Mr Speaker. So all the great work might be being done, but this government is not leading it. They have created many collaborative process models to water down the issues so that powerful stakeholders can dominate the debate, and business as usual ends up with more voice than iwi and community. They have subsidised big irrigation. They have allowed wadeable to win over swimmable. They have ignored the iwi when they have said very clearly that this is a te treaty issue and that they have a proprietorial relationship with water. It's not okay to say no one owns water and then let it be sold off in bottles overseas or taken commercial advantage of without paying anything for it, which is what is happening at the moment, an issue that this government refuses to face. So swimmable is about standing with great water policy. The Greens have great water policy, and right now we are touring our communities and talking with people who want that pollution to stop. We're talking about solutions that will really work, not just talking to each other about the lowest bottom line. So that's why I'm on the water tour and fighting for swimmable, because wadeable is not an Olympic sport.
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.